Hi, folks. It's Annette of AnnetteLeonard.com. Thanks very much for being here for another moment for chronic wellness. We're continuing to talk about how did you get diagnosed with chronic fatigue syndrome. So I had my diagnoses. I was out of work for 6 weeks trying to recuperate. My hope was to heal from chronic fatigue syndrome. And no surprise to any of you who are sharing this diagnosis, but it didn't happen. And what a profoundly disappointing, disheartening, saddening situation that was. And when my FMLA, my short-term medical leave, ended and I had to go back to work, I was so ill prepared for just trying to get back to it and still be no more recovered, no better off, no more able to function with all of the symptoms that I was battling. And thus began my quest for healing. And that journey, which hasn't ended, took me to Southern California to meet with a guy who specialized in Chinese herbs. It took me to fecal transplant. It took me to every kind of elimination diet that I could imagine. It took me up to Vancouver, Canada to meet with other specialists. It has been consuming, and it has been the thing that has kept me going, right? The idea that there might be something on the event horizon that could shift what is. And sitting with the question, what's the difference between acceptance of this illness and giving up? And trying to walk that line between staying invested and being swallowed up by being so invested that I can't figure out how to function. So I continued to work for another year and a half. Not very well, really poorly, before I eventually acknowledged that I could not. And I ran through all of my sick and vacation, and I took short-term disability 2 more times before applying for long-term disability and eventually applying for Social Security disability and stopping working. More things happened on my health horizon, and it was mono that turned into chronic fatigue syndrome that started it all for me. How about you? We'd be glad to hear and know some about your journey. And in the meantime, thank you for sharing some time with me here. I am grateful for you and for your time. Until we're together again, thank you and be well.